Shaun, you have good memories coming back to Budapest as you made 2 maximums last time. How does it feel to be here again?
It's great to be back in Budapest. I just think what I remember about my previous visit here was the support of the fans. It was packed, all those years ago that we came pre-pandemic. And of course, we've just had the first match this afternoon, packed again, not a spare seat in the house. So great. And of course, I've said this to people, the explosion we've seen in snooker in countries like Germany started with events like this. So who knows, in years to come, maybe we might have a ranking event here in Hungary as well.
There was an interesting and unlucky moment in your first match.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, just, I've been playing snooker for 34 years and never, ever had a tip come off my cue, ever, in 34 years. Don't know what to say. It's unlucky. You can't plan for it. I don't know what, it was hard. It was hard to know what to do. And it was in the first frame of a 6-frame show. I've got 3 more matches to play here over the next 2 days. So very frustrating. Wanted to try and put a great show on for all the crowd that were here. But for my tip to ping off, wasn't a great start. Wasn't a good start at all.
But nevertheless, you can start the new year in a good mood because you've been play well again in the recent months. What do you think are the reasons of this?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think form is temporary. And I think form goes like this. And, for me, my season, this season is good. My previous season was terrible. And the one before that was the best of my life. So I think, form is a little bit up and down. But you have to keep resilient. You have to keep a good perspective. And, keep trying your best every single week. And one week, it'll be your week to take the trophy home.
It's not only the location that may be familiar to you, but also the opponent, Bulcsú Révész, because you made against him 147 at the shootout.
Yeah.
What do you think of him, and how closely are you following his first professional season?
Well, I first met Bulcsú 7 years ago here. When he was just, an 11-year-old. We played an exhibition frame out there in front of the crowd. And he's a real character, He's got a great personality. He's been a very positive addition to the World Snooker Tour. And he's a very good player as well, let me tell you. So a really nice young man, a very, very good player. And I think a great prospect for all Hungarians to support.
Basically, we can say more and more young talents are coming from the continental Europe. But however, many people still fear the Chinese players will dominate the snooker in the next 5-10 years. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure that they'll dominate. Dominate's a big word. I'm not sure about that. One of the big differences in China versus almost every other country in the world is that snooker is funded by the government in China. I don't think it's funded by the government here. It's certainly not funded by the government in the United Kingdom. And that's a big problem. We need the support of governments and sports bureaus around the world to give funding to snooker players, to give funding to billiards players, so that those players can have the same opportunities as other sports players around the world who are funded by their local governments and obviously, their national governments. It's something that we don't have in Q Sports. They have it in China, and maybe that's why 20 to 25% of the players on the tour are Chinese.
You are also mentoring a young talent, Stan Moody. How do you think more youngsters can be attracted to this sport, for example, in the UK?
Well, I'm actually not working with Stan anymore. Stan and his family have, decided to go in their own direction. But, he's a wonderful player, a great young player with so much potential and having a really good season as well, I might add. Doing very, very well. There's lots of good young players in the UK coming through. There's some older players from Europe who've been forgotten. And, I don't think we should, whilst we're thinking about all the new players coming through, like Bulcsú Révész here in Hungary, we should remember that there's been players from Europe that have been going for a long, long time. Lasse Munsterman was a good player from Germany. Bjorn Hanneveer was another good player from Belgium. These are players who were flag bearers, torch carriers for all the young players coming through nowadays, and we should never forget their contribution either.
You also often comment on the fact that snooker could do with a bit of a revamp in terms of rules. If you had to name 3 things you would definitely change, what would they be?
I would get rid of the foul and a miss rule. So after any foul, you can pick the cue ball up and put it anywhere on the table. I would bring in a shot clock for 30 seconds for every single shot. Make players get on with it. Some of the matches take far too long. And I would also change the cue ball from a plain cue ball to a cue ball with spots on, like every other cue sport on the planet.
Let's get back to you. The Masters is coming up, which you have won once, and as well as World Championship and the UK Championship. What do you think you will need to win again a Triple Crown event?
Do you know, I think I just need all of the stars to align for me on that particular week. I need for my opponents to have a bad week, and I need to play the best I can play. You know, it's 10 years since I won the Masters. It's 20 years since I won the World Championship. These tournaments are difficult to win. You know, I've been in plenty of finals of these big tournaments, but it's very hard to win the majors, and I keep trying every single year.
Of course, you can still have plenty of good years, because in snooker you are not considered an old man at 42.
Not yet.
What are your biggest goals for the rest of your career? Another World Championship title or achieving the world #1 spot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, of course, don't get me wrong, I would love to win more World Championships, more Masters, more UKs, of course. And I try my best every single year at those tournaments. I've never managed to get to the top of the rankings. I've never been world #1. That's something I always wanted to achieve as a young man. So I guess I'm trying my best to get as close to that as I possibly can. But you know, I enjoy every tournament. Every tournament is special in its own right, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm back in the winners' enclosure.
And enjoy your time here in Budapest.
Thank you very
Shaun.
much. Thank you. Thank you.